We have to get outside of the box of just thinking of the traditional aviation careers and know that if you want that exposure to aviation, if that's your passion, there are avenues for you to get into that aren't those traditional things that we normally look at for aviation careers.
How many people go through life doing work they really don't like, but every day dreaming of, say, working in the aviation industry? They say it's too late. They think it would be too hard. They think it would go against conventional norms. If you never go after what you want, you'll never have it. This is Fly the Transition. Join us as we soar through the captivating stories of individuals embracing a thrilling journey into the aviation industry. From pilots spreading their wings to mechanics fine-tuning the engines and a myriad of industry professionals, each with a unique tale to tell. Get ready to dive into the diverse backgrounds, the pivotal moments that propelled their leap, and the sheer determination that transformed their aspirations into reality. We're not just about dreams. We're about making them take flight. Welcome to Fly the Transition. And now your host, Jim Schilling.
Hello and welcome back to another solo episode of Fly the Transition, where we're going to explore the world of aviation for those making a midlife career change. I'm your host, Jim, and today we're diving into a topic that doesn't always get the spotlight it deserves. Opportunities in the aviation industry for those who aren't eligible or interested in becoming pilots. Not everyone has the desire or ability to become a pilot, but that doesn't mean you can't have a rewarding and fulfilling career in aviation. The industry is full of exciting opportunities that allow you to be part of the aviation world without sitting in the cockpit. In today's episode, we'll explore some of these career paths, how you can transition into them, and resources to help get you started. When most people think of aviation, the first thing that comes to mind is being a pilot. But the reality is the aviation industry is massive and includes countless roles that are just as critical to keeping everything running smoothly. These roles not only allow you to be part of something bigger, but they also offer a direct connection to the world of aviation. The first thing that comes to mind for me is my career path into the military. I originally wanted a flight crew job, and it just wasn't in the cards based on the fun and exciting depth perception test that they give you at MEPS and rush you through the little Cheerio test in about 4 seconds. That was a test I wasn't able to pass. However, I still went into the Air Force and got into the security forces field where I was able to be exposed to all kinds of aviation day in and day out as I'd work various security posts on the flight line. So even at a younger age, it wasn't something where I was able to get onto the aircraft, be part of the flight crew, but I was still able to be immersed in aviation every single day. So some examples of other types of roles that people can consider in aviation are air traffic control, aircraft maintenance, flight dispatching, aviation safety, management, education, and so many more. Each and every one of these positions play a key role in making aviation possible in the first place, and many of them offer the excitement and fulfillment people are looking for in a career. Best of all, you don't have to get airborne to get involved. So let's dive into some of these career paths and see what they have to offer. So let's talk specific roles in aviation that you can pursue without being a pilot. The first one's a little bit tough because there are certain age requirements of when you have to start and when you have to retire, and that's air traffic control. To be considered for an air traffic control position with the FAA, candidates applying must be age 30 or below and can't be 31 as of the closing date of a specific vacancy. For midlife career changes, that makes anything after 30 not really an option. That doesn't mean all the other doors are closed, but if you're looking to get into ATC, if you're thinking of, in your mid-20s that the path that I'm on isn't right for me, this could be an option for you. It's also one of the most critical roles in aviation. Air traffic controllers coordinate the safe and efficient movement of aircraft on the ground and in the air. It is a high-pressure job, but comes with a huge sense of accomplishment. Controllers are highly trained and must pass rigorous exams to enter this profession. The earning potential here is strong as well, with the median salaries ranging from $120,000 to $130,000 per year. But remember, it requires a sharp mind, quick decision-making, and a willingness to work some odd hours. Let's talk about those A&Ps next. If you enjoy working with your hands or have a knack for problem-solving, this could be the career path for you. Maintenance technicians ensure aircraft are safe, perform repairs, and do regular inspections. This could be anything from working for an airlines or working at a local airport as an AMP. Getting into this role generally is going to require completing an FAA-approved program and earning an airframe and power plant license, or A&P. There is a huge demand for skilled technicians in this field right now. We talk about the pilot shortage all the time. This is just as much an area that needs skilled workers. Salaries in this area range from $60,000 a year or so, and you could also specialize in certain areas like avionics or the engine specifically. So there's plenty of opportunities in that sector as well. Flight dispatcher is a career path that I hadn't really put a whole lot of thought into before. Frankly, I just didn't know what it was. Essentially, they are the pilot's partner on the ground. Dispatchers for airlines and other types of aviation companies plan flight paths, monitor weather, and can make crucial decisions about safety, your fuel load, and what alternate airports might be available for a pilot. This role is perfect for someone who enjoys logistics or wants to have a direct impact on daily flight operations, but can't necessarily get into the cockpit. To become a dispatcher, you're going to need a certification for this as well. This normally takes about 6 months to a year. Salary-wise, an experienced dispatcher can earn anywhere between $50,000 to $100,000 per year annually. Next up, we'll talk about aviation safety inspectors. Now, this is a field that I actually looked at personally because of my background in investigations and being able to, dig into stuff. The thing that I'll point out here is if your medical is what's holding you up from getting into the cockpit, that is going to apply here as well. A lot of aviation safety inspector positions with the FAA and TSB, what have you, are going to require some sort of medical certificate because there is a component of flying, it seems like, for these roles. A lot of them also are going to require a significant amount of hours, so you do have to be a pilot. Sometimes CFI requirements are in play as well. So if you're looking at this route, just make sure you do your homework on this as well. But if safety is your passion, being an aviation safety inspector could be the path for you. Inspectors can ensure airlines or aviation businesses are complying with the various regulations of the FAA. The job also requires a significant amount of aviation knowledge. This is why oftentimes former pilots, mechanics, or engineers will transition into this role later. The job is going to involve traveling to different sites and checking that operations are safe and meeting all those requirements. It can be a rewarding role that ensures aviation remains one of the safest forms of travel. Are you more of a business-minded type of person? Aviation management might be the path for you as well. This could be working in an FBO, managing that, or there are airport management roles as well. In that case, aviation management offers great opportunities to leverage your management skills. You can oversee an airport, airline services, or corporate aviation departments. So this could be handling daily operations, managing the budget, or implementing a strategic plan to help that business grow. Aviation management roles are diverse and critical. A degree in aviation management or business is likely going to be a good entry point here if you don't have that already. And salaries for this role could range from $70,000 to $150,000 a year, depending on the position itself. Let's talk next about the people that keep the airport itself operating and running smoothly. Now, this can be the visual people that you see from the ramp agents to baggage handlers, things like that. But there's also a whole team of professionals who are keeping that airport itself running. This can be anything from cutting the grass to plowing snow in the winter months, maintaining the runway itself, and all of those different lights that are all over those airports to help it be visible at night. These roles also are critical to make sure that the airport keeps running smoothly so the aircraft can keep coming in and out. Now, there's a variety of roles in this space too, from equipment operators to people inspecting runways to the people managing this entire orchestra of people. So take a look at those careers as well if you are interested in just having an outside career, working at the airport and seeing planes all day long. Another role that can apply with really any of those roles we talked about before is those in aviation education or trainers. It's yet another area that's in need of passionate professionals. So whether you're training the next generation of pilots, controllers, or technicians, you can have a big impact on the industry's future. There are a lot of airlines that have ground instructor programs that you may be able to get into, or any of those roles that we just talked about need instructors as well. So you don't necessarily have to be a pilot to teach many areas of aviation. And this role is incredibly fulfilling for those who want to share their knowledge and passion for aviation. I have a number of friends who have actually been able to take their aviation experience and go and be ground instructors teaching systems at different airlines. One specifically is a retired school teacher who taught elementary school and then took her CFI experience, her teaching experience, and was able to transition that into a nice retirement part-time job teaching for this airline's the next generation of pilots. Another example is a prior guest, Seth Bunker, who was military aircrew working as a flight engineer, but he wasn't a CFI. He was still able to get in with an airlines, begin teaching systems, and has ultimately worked his way now through that airlines and now to a major carrier as a first officer. So even if you want to use that career as a stepping stone as you work towards a career as a pilot, the options are really open for which direction you want to take in that role. So how do we get started in these different careers, especially if you're coming from a different field already? The good news is there's a variety of pathways to enter aviation, even without prior experience in the field. So we'll talk first about education and training. Many aviation careers do require certifications. So if you're interested in becoming an aircraft maintenance technician, you do need to complete that FAA certified program to earn your A&P like we talked about before. Same thing is going to hold true for those flight dispatchers and air traffic controllers. You will require some specialized training and certifications. The good news is you can find these programs at community colleges, universities, or other types of specialized aviation schools. The key is to do some research on the requirements for the specific career that you are interested in. I will have some links down in the show notes for places that you might be able to get started to look for those opportunities. Next up is a common theme that we talk about, not just in aviation, but I think in any type of career path, and that would be your networking. In aviation, just as in many other industries, networking can make all the difference. So attend aviation expos, join an aviation forum somewhere, or find those local flying clubs and start building connections with people already in the industry. Places like ALPA, Women in Aviation International, the 99s, or your local EAA chapter even, could be a great source to meet other people who are in the industry. You never know who might help you land your next opportunity. So seek out those different organizations and start to build your network of other professionals in the industry. Something else to consider would be an internship or an entry-level position. Now, if you're already established in a profession, this is going to come with some hesitation or maybe some apprehension because internships typically imply a non-paid position, and entry-level roles can oftentimes be lower level in pay. So it might be something you have to consider about sacrifices you might need to take to make that happen for you. So while these positions are going to give you hands-on experience and help you build your skills and networking too, necessary to move into higher roles, there could be those setbacks of pay, but sometimes that setback may pay off in the long run depending on the role that you get into. And make sure that you look at your resources for career transitions. There are plenty of online resources to help guide you towards a non-pilot aviation career. So check out websites like AvJobs, there's JS Firm, or Indeed. They all offer aviation job boards that list positions worldwide. Also check out places like LinkedIn. You might be surprised to find some of the different types of aviation career recruiters that are out there that could help point you in the right direction as well. Just again, be careful, do your research, and know what you're getting yourself into. A recruiter is obviously going to do what they do, which is try to get you into a certain place. So pros and cons of that, obviously, depending on what their needs are. You can also take advantage of programs and workshops that AOPA or other organizations offer. There's also the National Business Aviation Association, and again, the EAA, like we talked about before. So as you're doing this research and looking for opportunities, here's something else that's really important to remember. The skills that you've already developed in your current career might transfer easily into aviation. So if you're in a logistics or program management type of background, that role we talked about, a flight dispatcher or aviation management, might be a really good natural fit for you. If you're already an educator or trainer in your current field, becoming an aviation instructor or trainer is certainly within reach with the right certifications. If you have a mechanical background or engineering, whether it's actual aircraft maintenance or working for an aircraft manufacturer or aerospace company, there are opportunities in those roles as well. You also have to consider the other types of roles that are going on the corporate side in the background, roles in HR, roles with IT, roles where you might be doing media communications, things like that. So we have to get outside of the box of just thinking of the traditional aviation careers and know that if you want that exposure to aviation, if that's your passion, there are avenues for you to get into that aren't those traditional things that we normally look at for aviation careers. Many of the skills from other industries, problem solving, leadership skills, or technical aptitude are all really highly valuable in aviation as well. I really hope today's episode has shown you that there are plenty of opportunities to build a rewarding aviation career, even if you're not the one flying the plane. Aviation is a huge, dynamic industry, and the sky really is the limit here when it comes to the roles that you could pursue. As always, if you've got questions or want to learn more about a specific path, I'd love to hear from you and point you in the right direction. I may not have the answers, but we can certainly find it together. Don't forget that aviation isn't just about the pilots. Whether you're on the ground, in the tower, or maintaining an aircraft, you're still contributing to an incredible field. Thanks so much for tuning into this solo episode of Fly the Transition, and until next time, keep your eyes on the sky and your dreams soaring high.
You've been listening to Fly the Transition. Life is too short for you not to do what you love. And our passion is to give you all the tools you need to make the transition from doing what you do to being in the aviation industry. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, you can reach out by email at flythetransition@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at Fly the Transition. And the website for Flying Midwest Media is flyingmidwest.com. Keep soaring. See you next time on Fly the Transition.